All right, we are live once again. Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, May 6th, and I want to welcome everyone back to our Facebook page. My name is Michael Quedal, Digital Marketing Specialist for the New Jersey School Boards Association. Once again, coming at you live through the power of Cisco WebEx, trying our best to flatten the curve and always practice safe social distancing. NJSBA has been hosting Facebook Live events to address questions from boards, school administrators, and educators during the COVID-19 pandemic. If you want to view a replay of any previous broadcast, click the videos tab on the left-hand side of the NJSBA Facebook page. That's where you'll see all our live videos as well and all previous videos we've ever had. So if you want to see a replay, click that videos tab on the left-hand side. And make sure you click the like button on our Facebook page. That really helps our Facebook page grow and get these broadcasts out there. And you will be notified in the future when we do go live. Quick note about the rest of the week. Tomorrow, we'll have a special Facebook Live event, Thursday, May 7th at 10 a.m. NGSBA attorneys Kathleen Asher and Katrina Hamel will share responses to frequently asked legal questions during the current crisis. So that's going to be a legal update. Topics will to be covered include and may not be limited to labor and employment issues such as employee leaves of absence. So that's going to be a definitely an interesting one tomorrow morning. And then on Friday, May 8th at 1 p.m., we're going to welcome Alicia DiLorenzo back to her weekly spot every Friday, 1 p.m., right here on our Facebook page. We're going to take a break to explore mindfulness and social and emotional learning. During this interactive weekly session, we're going to expand your knowledge on the positive impact of SEL and it can have on the climate and culture of schools and communities. But today we are back with another iSTEAM and sustainability lesson. We're joined with Kira Rizzuto, Arts Ed NJ Program Development Manager. We're going to be exploring the A in STEAM, the arts. The conversation will discuss the importance of arts learning, building creative experiences at home, and the ways that self-expression, design, and creativity can foster positive emotion even during this COVID-19 public health crisis. And then I think at the end of the program, towards the end, John Henry will introduce another collaborative design challenge. We're going to be monitoring the comment section during and after the broadcast. So if you want to say hi or drop a comment or question, just drop it in the comment section below and I'll forward along to Kira and John. So whether you're a school board member, administrator, teacher, or even a parent, we are here to serve you and help you work through this difficult time. And finally, I always say it on every Facebook Live event, every Facebook Live broadcast, and it's one of the most important things. I hope everyone and their families are doing okay and they're healthy. Today, like I said, we are back with NGSBA's iSTEAM and Sustainable School Specialist and Lead Green Associate, John Henry. Good morning, John. How you doing?
Good morning, Michael. I'm doing well. Thank you.
All right, so I'm just going to pass it right over to you, and you can get the ball rolling.
Kira, good morning and welcome. Uh, First time we're doing this, but Kira and I have no strangers to doing workshops together. We've been together for about 5 years now, and it's been a great run. It's the first time we're doing a Facebook Live together, so I'm looking forward to some of the questions that I'm going to ask Kira, and she's going to share some information. So will I. But before we jump into the questions, I do want to just kind of define what iSteam is. There's and you know it's an acronym, right? And at iSteam, it's for the integrative in front of it, and it is a really interesting piece that is actually put in front of STEAM. But some use STEM, some use STEAM. There's other acronyms in there. But at the end of the day, what I really like about the integrative piece, and it's really integrative education, is it really practices on the characteristics of human-centered learner and the independent nature of the reality. Instead of dividing up the content areas into compartmentalized subjects or using seat work or textbooks, this kind of immerses students in an enriched environment and reflects the complexities of life. We always talk about real world learning, and it's more about the process. And what I also like about when you do a real true integrative STEAM lessons and educational activities in your class is failure becomes part of the process, and it's totally beyond the STEAM content areas. Just because we have the acronym and it's not just those subject areas, when you put the creative piece into it, students really have a rich experience and it goes beyond the STEAM content areas so as well. Um, we have problem solving at the very core. It's usually initiated through what we call a design challenge, and some of you are familiar with Steam Tank, and that's what Steam Tank is. the design challenge where students meet a challenge either provided by the teacher or in many times, like what we do in STEAM Tank, the students actually select the problem that they want to address. So they have ownership over that. It's their project. And once you do that, I always say if you engage the student, the achievement will follow. So some of the things in a design challenge, I think that's really important to understand is it does hit upon the empathy, and with SEL, it definitely is practicing. The kids really have a great experience with their soft skills and needed, necessary, absolutely necessary and needed in a workplace. It hits the problem solving. They work collaboratively with others. They use a creativity and imagination because they're usually working in groups with collaboratively, and everybody brings a different skill set to the table. It's with the purpose. They can actually have fun and it's enjoyable. We don't want education to be boring. We want them to have a good time doing it, and they learn quite a bit by doing it that way. It's innovative. It's entrepreneurial thinking, just like STEAM Tank. It's an entrepreneurial design challenge where students can actually, maybe create their own businesses or actually have a product that's going to be patented that's actually going to benefit the world or people out there. They're designing something. It's hands-on experiential learning. So when you do an iSTEAM activity and it's done right in the classroom, you're really hitting a lot of great, rich learning activities that the students really like to do. So we always talk about, and I know Kira is going to do a little bit deeper dive in this, but why is the A in STEAM? Why does it matter? So I have a sentence that I'm going to read, and I think is kind of important. So arts education is one way to creatively, and creativity is essential component and spurs innovation. Innovation is agreed to be necessary to create new industries in the future, and new industries with their jobs are the basis for our future economic well-being. So there's a significance to the arts in this, just not put in there for any just for no reason at all. There is a reason for creativity, and I'm sure Kira will jump in and really expand on that. So Kira, I just want to just jump in right now with the questions. And um, first of all, can you tell us about Arts Ed NJ and why it's important?
Absolutely. Thank you, John. I, for anyone who's not familiar with Arts at New Jersey, our mission is really to create the proper conditions so that arts learning can take place across the state. And we work with a very diverse group of stakeholders to really develop a healthy arts ecosystem in New Jersey so that every student is able to develop literacy and fluency in the arts. And one of the reasons that that's so important is because we want every child to have the opportunity to think creatively, innovatively, to acquire new knowledge through their exploration of an art form, but also then to apply that knowledge in a variety of ways. And as you mentioned, the sort of very core aspect of STEAM learning comes down to blending subject areas. And if the arts is one of those areas that you are combining, we know that students are deeply engaged, and Arts at New Jersey is really devoted to promoting opportunities for all students. The arts are a core subject. They matter because they provide students not just the academic pathways for success, but also help students to develop the social emotional competencies that are required to pursue whatever pathway they choose in their future, whether that be a professional career path in the arts, or if they're not, choosing to necessarily pursue a career path in the arts, but that work that takes place in an arts classroom, that experiential self-directed learning is going to, be a aspect of learning that they can tap into regardless of what their life path is that they aspire to, whatever they choose. And so My role as program development manager largely focuses on developing that healthy arts ecosystem through professional learning experiences that are offered not just to art specialists, but also to principals, curriculum supervisors, content teachers of non-arts areas that may want to incorporate some arts learning principles into their work. And so throughout the year, Arts at New Jersey with our partners, such as New Jersey School Boards Association, such as the New Jersey Principals and Supervisors Association, we offer those professional learning opportunities to really understand how the arts can impact students. The topics are really varied, from STEAM to SEL in the arts to arts integration, which is when you take the arts content and you blend that with any other content that focuses specifically on teaching and assessing arts and non-arts content in an equitable way. So that's my role, and I enjoy every minute.
Thank you. A lot of people, when they hear that you have to STEAM activity, I think they need to incorporate every single acronym or content area right in that. And that's not always the case. It depends on.
It's very difficult to incorporate all aspects. So I think that's why the learning about how to do it in a really impactful way is crucial.
Right. And making it available for students. If you put students in a room, like that's why I love design challenges, because they're facing a situation where they have to figure out something. They can pull the creativity in, they can be entrepreneurial, innovative. They can. It doesn't mean that they have to, but usually it happens organically because it's delivered in such an open-ended, which I really love when we do design challenges, having that open-ended and not too structured. I know that depends on the age, and the younger the student is, they need a little more structure, and that's true. The older they get, the more open-ended it can be, and that's where the creativity really happens, because then the students take it in any direction that they want, facilitated by the teacher. So that's great. That's really awesome. So tell us a little bit about what Arts Ed NJ has been doing to respond to the COVID-19 crisis.
Absolutely. We recognized immediately that one of the key things would be to really help to foster conversation within the field, to be increasing communication so that we knew what the needs were, and we were listening to our practitioners to understand those needs. One of the first things that we developed was the distance learning resources that we published on the Arts Ed New Jersey website. And so this was an opportunity really to not just focus on distance learning broadly, but to also offer for each of the arts disciplines, so that's dance, music, visual art, theater, some specific resources that could help teachers transition to a distance learning environment. So that was one of the first things we did within maybe a week of shifting. I think it was even less. But I know that was something we received a lot of, response regarding those resources, and we're so happy to be able to provide that. Another way that we shifted was to be creating new content that was very relevant to this moment. So that took on a number of different forms. We started to do Facebook Live Q&A with educators. We started a webinar series that was going to focus on the intersection of social emotional learning and the arts. In fact, that first webinar, which featured Dr. Marisa Elias, who is a researcher of social emotional learning, Dr. Scott Ager, who is a professor and has written a lot of articles and books about this intersection of the arts and social emotional learning, and Bob Morrison, who's our director at Arts Ed New Jersey. So that webinar is available, and we'll be producing others in that series to look at social emotional learning through the arts, because this is a time where, we know not just our students, but our teachers and parents. I mean, we need outlets to be able to address some of these things that have really required and asked a lot of us during this time, all of us collectively. And so we hope that the webinars are going to really provide people with some of the tools to help, take their capacity to express some of what they're feeling, and to maybe reframe some of what they're feeling to a more constructive, healthy, social, emotional, place. And then one of the things that we've really recognized is how important continuity is in this time. So we are going forward each year. This is the 40th anniversary that New Jersey is celebrating the Governor's Awards in Arts Education. And, for 40 years, we've been celebrating excellence with students and leaders in the arts to celebrate what New Jersey's arts ecosystem is able each year to really shine a spotlight on individuals. And we decided this year, instead of doing it's usually a public event open to the public, held in Trenton for many years now. This will be shifting to a virtual event. It's going to be live, streamed on Friday, June 26th from 5 to 7. And this is a moment of celebration. This is a moment of continuity for us to be able to celebrate some of the positive things that have not been lost in this time, even as we all face COVID.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're all doing things differently.
Absolutely. And we all, I think, want moments, to celebrate and opportunities to do that.
Right. Doesn't mean we stop doing what we're doing. It just means we're doing it differently. Yeah,
Absolutely.
all of us are putting our best effort here to get things out to the schools and everybody who wants to join in collectively. And, I think we're doing the best we can with what we have. Thank God we have this technology, right, to actually do this.
Absolutely. I thank you for making that point, because I think one of the most important things now is to recognize that the expectations, core first principle expectations have not changed. We still want to provide our students with learning experiences that are impactful, but the way that we do that has changed dramatically. So we're all doing our best to address it.
One of the first design challenges we launched was preparedness at home. Right. Well, this is preparedness. This is the new normal. We're not going to stop. We're going to continue to do this, but we're going to come out of this much better. We're going to be well prepared in terms of our technology. We're going to know what gaps we have now that we're seeing in schools, and I think we're going to be fine. So I see the Arts Ed Now banner behind you. Could you tell us a little bit about that? Nicely placed, by the way. I like that.
I would love to. Arts Ed Now, just, in a sentence, is a public awareness campaign to really, it is designed to increase student participation in creative learning. And in our early, kind of intro to this morning, John, you were talking all about, this need for flexible thinking and, the need for students to be self-directed in their learning. And we know through a lot of the research about arts education and arts integration that one of the ways we can assist students in developing those mindsets and the skills that they can apply in all areas of life are through the arts. And there's actually a wonderful profile of the Arts Ed Now campaign, the goals and so forth in the School Leader magazine from, I believe it was January, February. So folks, can certainly look at that, or the artsednow.org website, which has a lot of tools, resources, and, as I said, really the overarching goal of Arts Ed Now is to help increase student participation in the arts in New Jersey. It's our statewide campaign. So it's your campaign, it's our campaign. And we are at Arts Ed New Jersey really proud to be the backbone organization of the campaign, but there are so many audiences that participate, and we're glad to see that.
Yeah, good. You guys are doing an incredible job. Thank you. We all appreciate it. You know,
Thank
I
you.
mean, just
Yeah, it's all about working together because this is an ecosystem, and in any ecosystem, one part impacts the others.
right. And in my world, in a STEAM and sustainable schools world, it's never been better. I mean, the collaboration and the resources that we're all coming together, we
Yeah.
work together, we're sharing, although sharing might be different information, but we have come together quite a bit. I mean, like what we're doing in our camp, we do WebEx meetings with our STEAM Tank community, as we call it, where teachers can come on and we're sharing information every Wednesday at 2 o'clock. We're doing these Facebook Lives. We have our wellness check, our STEAM wellness check that's up on our iSTEAM services page that you know, schools can come in and do a quick wellness check and then get in touch with me and we can go over and we can review what they're doing, what they're not doing, what they would like to do. We have these design challenges that we're launching, and we're not going to stop. We're going to continue to do that. We have some really cool things coming up on our Facebook Lives. We're going to do home virtual audits with the New Jersey Clean Energy Program. We're going to look at our ACES Plus. We're going to have the Army possibly come on and talk about some challenges that they have, design challenges that they're working on. So we're all doing our part. So tell me a little bit about the Think Do, the arts integration. I always botch that name. I'm sorry, but you have a workbook that.
I think what you're referring to is the New Jersey Arts Integration Think and Do workbook.
That's it.
So
Done with
that
PSA, right?
was Yeah, so that was actually a resource that was developed to really build capacity for teams to focus on arts integration. And as I mentioned earlier, Arts Ed New Jersey and our entire arts, field in New Jersey looks at arts integration as a blending of non-arts and arts content that where the standards in the arts area and the non-arts area are equitably taught and assessed. And so STEAM, if you really think about that definition that I just offered, STEAM is just a subset of arts integration that, and you made a really important point earlier, John. STEAM doesn't mean that you're teaching every subject area in that acronym all at once. It's the idea that you are developing the capacity to blend learning with a variety of content areas. And the workbook that you mentioned, New Jersey's Arts Integration Think and Do workbook, was designed for teams who are coming together for 3 days of professional learning in the summer that's offered through the New Jersey Principals and School Boards Association. And these teams are guided through a variety of professional development over those days. They're offered a coach throughout the academic year that helps them to build capacity for arts integration within their school and district. So it's really, it's a wonderful resource. There's also a user guide that predates the workbook. And right now I'm excited to say that as a member of the writing team, we are working on a second edition of this workbook, but you can find the current edition available in a PDF version. And certainly anyone who's interested can feel free to reach out when the new workbook does become available. I'm happy to share that too.
Great, thank you. Sorry, I botched the name. I always do. So,
I'm
so
here to clarify.
that's why you're on to talk about it and not me in that specific topic. That's for sure. So I know we mentioned and you've mentioned social emotional learning. Could you tell us a little bit about? I know you're doing some work with some crosswalk with SEL.
Yeah, this is also something that Arts Ed New Jersey has been focused on for close to 18 months. But the work that we have been doing regarding a crosswalk between the 5 SEL competencies and the sub-competencies and the anchor standards in the visual and performing arts. So there are 11 anchor standards that go across each art discipline. And the artistic processes of create, respond, connect, and then The last process, it changes by discipline. So if you are talking about visual art, you're talking about, presenting. If you're talking about music or dance or theater, you're talking about performing. But those four artistic processes, create, respond, present, and connect, we've through Arts Ed New Jersey and a task force with SEL for New Jersey have looked very, very closely at the connections and the natural connections and alignment between the SEL competencies and subcompetencies and the things that are developed as students are working within those anchor standards in visual and performing arts. And we're very excited to be able to release that work shortly, anticipating that this will complement the new visual and performing arts standards. And we just stay tuned. We'll have that resource available publicly from our website and a complimentary website as soon as that is launched. And we are in our final stages, so it will be very soon. Stay posted.
Sharing that. I'm looking forward to seeing all of that.
And one important piece, just to kind of, now is a moment where social emotional learning, as we mentioned, is critical. And so one of the ways that we can prepare our students, parents, teachers, everyone who's part of our communities to face what's in front of us is to engage in creative expression through an art form or through some type of connection with the arts that they feel most speaks to them. And so I would encourage anyone, whether or not you have aspirations of being a singer, dancer, actor, or visual artist or not, to engage in the arts in some ways. And I'm excited about our challenge that is ahead as far as the design challenge goes, because I think there are some real ideas there to help people to dive in and to do just that.
Yeah, I agree. And also there is a social emotional learning component in that design challenge, which will be available as of actually it's available right now. It's up on the website, and we'll share that link in a little bit. So one of the last things I wanted to here is that you have been serving as one of our esteemed judges for Steam Tank since its inception. So I really want you to talk about like what you observed as a judge and as it relates to the artistic, the expression, the creativity that you've seen, and you've been on probably I think all the judging levels of panels like high school, you've done middle school, and you've done the elementary. So you've seen it kind of a good cross section over the last 4 years. So could you go into that a little bit?
I would be happy to. I actually have so enjoyed being able to observe the students articulate their thinking, the things that they are curious about, the way that they approach problem solving. It's not just evident in the problem solving and the way that they articulate their solutions. But what's been so fascinating to watch from the elementary, middle, and high school level is the problem formation, the way students think about the world around them and think about what is something that they want to address. It's a very open-ended, I really think that the open-ended design structure of the Steam Tank Challenge, I think that lends itself for students to think about the world around them, think about, people and places and environment, and to think about how they could make an impact, on the built environment, or think about things in the natural world that, they are curious about, problems that they might like to take on. And I've watched students articulate their thinking in that way. And it's always a joy to see. But I think the intersections that you ask about with arts education and arts learning are that your students who have experiences in arts education are able to develop as self-directed learners. And this is something that When you're talking about, complex challenges, if you're talking about complex problems, you need to have flexibility in your thinking. You need to approach your problem solving from a variety of perspectives. And experience in the arts gives opportunities for students to really try on new perspectives. And those are the teams that I have seen as a judge with the Steam Tank Challenge and competition. Those are the teams that you are able to see them develop further. So I'll just give you a quick example. There are some teams who document their work. They might use like a sketch note type of format to document their work. And that's something that comes directly from, the visual arts. There are other teams who talked through during the Q&A how they decided to move in one direction instead of another. What was the criteria they applied to make decisions together as a team? This is another thing that within the arts, we are constantly receiving feedback and critique, and it advances the work. So there are a lot of things within arts learning that I think benefit students. And when I'm watching the competition as a judge, I'm looking with that lens in mind, and I'm making connections all the time to the type of learning through the arts that students are engaged in, and how I see evidence of that within the competition and the presentations that students do. And then also their presentations, just whether they include music or design savvy. I mean, these are all things that the arts will teach. And so it's there in the competition in many ways. I see evidence of that.
Yeah, the Steam Tank Challenge is incredible. I mean, I absolutely love it. John, I know you're super involved in it, obviously, running the program. Um, Actually, Stacy from the chat says, I really miss Steam Tank this spring. I can't wait to see what the creative NJ students have been creating at home. And actually, Al asks, when will the Steam Tank at home projects the students are doing right now be presented? Is that going to be available, John?
So the right now, because we transitioned, and just to give you a little quick background of where we're at with Steam Tank, we had to postpone it obviously, and that's why we transitioned into the Steam Tank at home. Um, we are planning on picking that back up, but I guess that really depends on what next school year looks like. And if we get back to school, we're probably going to be doing it in virtual format and somehow. We'll release those details when we know for sure where we're at in September. Um, but the Steam Tank at Home, there's a submission form for what the kids can submit right now. And we review those and we'll post them on the Facebook page and we'll share them out. So the kids can get it out there in the public to see what they're doing at home. The Google form is actually just their parents have to submit it for them since they're home and they're now going to be responsible for that. We just preview it. We had several submissions so far, which is nice to see. We're still reviewing those, and we'll make them available shortly, probably next week. But every challenge when we launch, it does take a little time for the students to actually do it at home, and then when they finally submit it, everybody in the state is welcome to jump on, take a look at these challenges, including the one that we're going to launch today. And so this is this arts creative expression at home. There's a whole host of different options that you could do in this, and please feel free to submit, because when you go through this Steam Tank community, it's a learning community. And so when students and teachers get together and they're sharing, it teaches everybody. And that's where we're at in terms of transitioning from the actual Steam Tank competition to the Steam Tank at home. So let's see what you're doing at home, and please share and learn together while we're home. So for those of you out there that don't know what Steam Tank is in terms of what the students get, they get three things that they have to do. And this is what I refer to as an open-ended design challenge. They are tasked to invent something new that doesn't exist yet, solve a real-world problem that needs resolution, or modify an existing product. And that's all the students get. This is done in a very open-ended problem, or what I call solution-based learning format, and we also follow the engineering design process. And then the students take off, and we are blown away with literally at this point, I think thousands of submissions of their ingenuity All we have to do is just kind of get out of their way and just facilitate the process. So it's been really nice, seeing what the students have done. And a big part of this, we asked Kira, to be on the judging panel years ago. The judges kind of are the backbone of this when the actual competition takes place. We do some mentoring with the students if they request, and I'll meet with the students, and our Army folks will meet with them. Um, but the judges are incredible because we have, like Kira, representing the arts. We have teachers, we have chemists, we have engineers, we have business people. We have a gamut of people across the board that represent different areas in the workforce that support the students. And it is not like Shark Tank. This isn't where they're tearing the kids up. They ask good questions and they support the students and are sharing their expertise as judges to the students. So the students walk away with a sense of empowerment and a feeling of gratefulness that they actually have when they meet with the judges finally. Yes, they're nervous when they get up on stage, but they all walk away and they're all fine
Always
afterwards.
rise to the occasion.
They rise to the occasion. It is absolutely incredible to see these students
It
shine.
sure is.
So, but Kira, thank you for sharing your experiences as a judge, and I know
My pleasure.
the other judges love it too. For the ones that have participated, we have about 65 judges total that have participated over the 4 years. So, Mike, do we have any additional questions?
That's about it, but I definitely want to say to everyone watching right now and recording, if any questions come up, we do monitor the comment section after the broadcast. So if you have any questions or comments for Kira or about Steam Tank or really anything under the sun, drop it in the comment section below, and I'll forward it along to John. Like I said, we're monitoring it, so yeah, we'll continue to do that on all of our previous videos as well. So I think that kind of wraps it up, John. Did you want or Kira, any final comments?
Yeah, that does. I just want to just remind everybody that the Arts at Home, Steam Tank Arts at Home Design Challenge is up on our website. We will be posting that, and Mike, and I think you have that email that I sent earlier with the link. It's up and running right now, so please go and check it out. It's something that Kira and I came up with. It is in a full-blown instructional design format, but just go to the scenario part where there are 3 options for you to do at home. And we always encourage the students to do this with their family. Do it with your mom and dad or your guardian, aunt, uncle. Obviously, practice social distancing. Your siblings, just make it a family project and have some fun with it. So it is up and ready to go right now.
Great.
I'd like to just thank you both. It was wonderful to be able to spend some time talking about STEAM, and John, the work through Steam Tank and the iSteam sessions really are they are a joy to be a part of, and I appreciate just continuing. As you mentioned, it really is a learning community. It's good to be a part of that community.
Yeah, and thank you for being part of it since the beginning and the work that we do together. And I so appreciate
My
what you
pleasure.
do. So thank you. And Michael, thank you as well, as always.
Yes, thank you, John. Thank you, Kara, for joining the program. I want to thank everyone for watching right now. If you like what you see here today, just drop us a like. It really does help our content grow and our page grow. I want to let everyone know right now that future Facebook Live events will be announced on njsba.org through School Board Notes and through our Facebook page. So if you haven't already, you're already here. Click that like button on our Facebook page so you can be notified when we do go live in future broadcasts. And for the latest information, bookmark www.njsba.org/COVID-19. And I'll drop that landing page as well in the comment section below. That landing page is updated daily. That is our resource page. So I just want to say thanks again. Thanks for everyone watching. Thank you to John and Kira. And I hope everyone stays safe, stays healthy, and we'll be back next week. I think we're coming at you live on Thursday next week for the iSteam and sustainability lesson. So just stay tuned with that. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. Bye.
Bye.